In this video, we will be doing a short practice specifically for the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is known as the wandering nerve. It starts from the base of the skull and it comes down the spine all the way into the gut. Along the way, it touches major organs like your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your lungs, the diaphragm. 80% of the fibers of the vagus nerve run up to the brain, and it sends these messages and sensations to the brain. This is the nervous system's signal of regulation, of what to do in a moment when you feel fear, or also when it's time to rest and digest. The vagus nerve activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It's responsible for a lot of really important internal experiences and how we can regulate that within our body at any time. We want to think about toning the vagus nerve. The stronger the vagal tone, the more resilient you become and the more you can regulate your experiences every day. So one of the ways that you can strengthen the vagal tone is through practices like yoga, especially therapeutic practices specifically targeted for the vagus nerve. The fibers of the vagus nerve also align along the sides of the neck, the sternocleidomastoid, and alongside the cheeks, the ears, around the eyes. We'll be doing a short practice to tone the vagus nerve. So wherever you are, you can do this practice in a chair, or you might be sitting on the floor. We take this first moment to check in with the physical body and notice how you feel, welcoming all parts of you in this moment. How does the physical body feel? The energy level? Do you feel a little sleepy, a little lethargic? Or perhaps you feel a little bit more heightened energy, nervousness. And now start to notice how you're breathing naturally without trying to change your experience. Are you breathing a little slower? Is it fast? Maybe even closing your eyes for a brief moment, or you could keep them open and soften your gaze down towards the floor. And I invite you now to take a cleansing breath, breathing into your nose and then sigh it out the mouth, perhaps even with an audible sound. We'll do this a couple more times. Breathe in, let it go, and last one, breathing in, let it go. And now observe how you feel, noting any differences, any changes. Maybe you have a sensation in the throat. If the eyes are closed, you can start to open them up, bringing palms together at your heart, and then breathing in, send your hands down. You can reach them up overhead. Your palms will come together back down to your heart. A couple more times. With your own breath, you rise up and you exhale your hands down to your heart. Notice how it feels to create this space on the sides of body and then hands down to the heart. We'll go the other way about 3 more times. So breathing in and exhale, release. Breathing in, and let it go. So your breath is slow, it's steady, it's patient. Nice. And now we return back with the hands resting on your legs. We'll move through a seated cat-cow, drawing the spine forward and back. Once you breathe in, you start to come forward and your tailbone might even lift a little bit. Your chin and gaze can go up. And exhale, round your spine, push through the back of your heart. Your chin may tuck as well. Moving forward and back with your own breath rhythm. This is flexion and extension of the spine. Noticing when you breathe in, this spaciousness, your breath comes up in your chest, and as you exhale, you're drawing in your navel. It draws towards the spine. We'll do one more, breathing in and breathing out. Okay, and now we're taking the right hand over to the left knee. Start to sit up tall and maybe even look over your back shoulder. The vagus nerve fibers are connected in around the eyes and in the eyes themselves. You can start to take your gaze over to the left side of the eye sockets without straining. Once you find your shape, I invite you to breathe into it. You can come out at any time. A few more breaths. And when you're ready to come out, release and come back to the center. Moving to the other side, take your right hand behind you, lifting up tall, maybe looking over the back shoulder. And if it feels right for you, the gaze to the right side of the eye sockets. Keep your spine tall and try to avoid leaning back on your backhand. And release, coming back to the center. Okay, now we're going to take the hands behind the head and rest the back of your head into your palms. They can be interlaced to support the back of the head, your elbows out to the sides. And now start to look over towards the left as though you're looking and trying to look at your left elbow. Again, without straining and keeping your posture tall. Now look back to the center, over to the right side. Perhaps trying to look at that right elbow. This breath is steady. And back to the center and release, let the arms go. Shake out the arms, pat down the body a little bit here, the insides of the arms, moving any stagnant energy, the chest, the sides of body, legs, knees, feet, maybe even alongside the inner leg lines, your back. And shake out one more time. And coming back to your center, tall spine. When you come into a tall posture, this can be a really great way to retune and check in with the body. If oftentimes throughout your day you notice that you're slouching, invite your spine up tall. You're rooted in your seat and you're lifting up with the top of your head. Okay, now we take a lateral bend. Your left hand can come out to the sides. And then take your right arm, you can reach it up overhead and it comes over to the left. And if it feels comfortable and you'd like to explore, bring your hand to the back of your head. And maybe your gaze goes up and turns up towards the ceiling as though, again, you're looking at your right elbow. Slow and steady breathing. If you want a little challenge, you could even let the left hand go and bring it to your right ribs. Feel your breath expand on the sides of the body. Without analyzing, observe, what is your experience? When you're ready to come out, rise back up, release. Moving to the other side, your right hand comes to the side, your left arm reaches up and overhead, hand may come to the back of head. Maybe even taking the gaze up towards the ceiling and looking at the left elbow this time. Stay rooted in your seat and perhaps right hand comes to the left outer rib cage. as you breathe here. In and out through the nose, a slow, steady breath. Let that right hand go as you rise back up. Moving through a few more seated cat-cows, forward and back. If you're sitting, you can uncross the legs, take the other one in front. Now we're going to take the left hand onto the heart, and your right arm is going to start to come back, opening up your heart, maybe even look at your back right hand. And then inhale, come to the center, take the right hand over the heart, and your left arm opens wide. You can look back at that hand and move with your own breath rhythm. Fluid like water, the breath expanding and opening across your chest and bringing it back in as though you're opening your heart, receptive to the world, but yet also maintaining this sense of security and safety within the body. So what we're doing is we are expanding our capacity for a strong and resilient nervous system. And the nervous system is an incredibly important component of the health of your everyday life. And we'll do one more on each side. Come back to the center, release, and notice how the spine feels, how the sides of your body feel. And we'll take a few slow, deep breaths, trying your best to use the diaphragm. So if you'd like, you can place a hand over your navel and the other on the chest. When you breathe in, your navel expands, it draws out. And when you breathe out, the navel comes in towards your spine. Using the diaphragm that is deeply connected to your vagus nerve. Slow, steady breath. When you're ready to release the practice, let your hands go and take a moment. Observe this moment, this pause of stillness, here and now. Honoring your body, your nervous system. Thank you for letting me guide you in this short practice. These are tools that you can use anytime, any day. And once you integrate some of these healthy self-regulation tools that tone the vagus nerve, the more resilient, the more ease and calm that you can integrate into your life, the sense of being grounded and rooted in the here and now. Thank you again for letting me guide you in this practice. Om Shanti.